Hello, thank you in advance for clicking on the thumbnail. But for those who don't know, I am the internet alias Ken the Chameleon. Why am I here talking to you? Well, I got an exciting proposal for you.
Hit it!
Okay, this requires a bit of an explanation. Well, for the incredibly sad and empty people who have never experienced this form of digital joy, Jumping Flash is one of, if not the earliest form, of 3D polygonal platformer on a console in 1995 for the Sony PlayStation. Well, that's on console. If you actually want to talk about the actual first 3D platformer, I believe one is called Alpha Dreams. Well, ever since I played Jumping Flash a few years ago, I was genuinely surprised how well it compared to so many early 3D dimensional polygon games on the PlayStation. It avoids all of the typical 3D issues by operating a similar feel to Doom. With the fixed FPS camera, with directional controls. The camera even automatically tilts downwards to aid platforming, which is actually a nice touch. Let's remember the fact that Jumping Flash released 11 months before the mega influential Mario 64. Remember, Mirror's Edge, Dying Light, Titanfall could only run because Jumping Flash called first. And it's not just the technical achievement that made Jumping Flash great, it is the trademark cutesy style that only 90s Japan can offer. You got a giant robotic rabbit hopping around bright colorful planets, fighting against cute little aliens, and collecting gigantic carrots to fight an old man called Baron Aloha, or a planet-sized Kabuki warrior.
In fact, there is nothing stranger in the universe than the creature known only as Captain Kabuki. Tipping the scales at a whopping 220 bazillion tons, he uses a kung fu grip larger than metropolitan Chicago to shred Little Moo and add it to his fantastic collection of bottled wonderlands.
It is absolutely mad in the best way possible. So why now? Simply because the IP never really fully been taken advantage of. Jumping Flash has always been trapped on the Sony PlayStation for almost 30 years. The most recent game is the unofficial third entry called Robert Mondu, which is released in October 1999. And that doesn't even support analog controls, even though the DualShock controller came out in Japan 2 years previously, compared to games even a year later like Mario 64 with its analog stick, adding 360 movement, which improved the game feel unlike the stiff tank controls of the D-pad in Jumping Flash. Just imagine modern controls on Jumping Flash with just that alone would be a huge difference. Speaking of which, the Jumping Flash 4 concept project is an Unreal Engine 5 game that only contains one level based on the first ever Jumping Flash, 1-1. I aim to recreate the level as if the location has been abandoned for decades and the wildlife took over. The concept demo is aimed to highlight the base gameplay mechanics similar to the classic Jumping Flash, but now in modern day technology and current day design. You can jump, shoot, and stomp on enemies just like Jumping Flash, with all of the quality of life that is missed from the past 25 years. For this being my first proper finished project, it was a massive roller coaster of self-improvement of my skills. For the first time, I've implemented stuff that I've never been done before, without much guidance, such as a sprite animation, complex UI, custom character shaders, character animations, and so much more. Game development, especially solo game development, is just the myth of Sisyphus, but replace a rock with Google searches. The fact that the demo is playable, mostly, is just an actual achievement. This is footage of my first ever student project from 2 years ago. Yes, this is quite the jump in quality. Get it? Jump? Get it? Oh my god, I'm cringe. The journey is a test of patience on my own stupidity because I couldn't read Unreal Engine documentation and not blindly searching for stuff. I mean, there are several dumb things that took me an embarrassingly long time to fix. One time, the level opening sequence wasn't even working properly, and I did literally everything from the UI animation to re-importing the UI text itself, and I thought it was just some texture problem. It turns out, all I need to do is just put one delay node, which just gives the engine enough time to show the texture properly for the sequence to work. Yes, one node is needed. That took me months to figure out, all on my own. Also, here's another tip for all of you game devs out there. If you're using Blender like me to create your characters and animate them, for the love of all things good, rename your rigs and do not leave it as armature. Unreal cannot understand the rigs because the name armature is the default name and will somehow break the animation or import it the wrong size. So all of the animation of your characters are either have broken limbs or your character is either Godzilla or a nanometer. If you re-import your character with the name rig, somehow magically everything works. Yes, it did take me months to figure this out. Well, like I said before, it is my last year of university, and now I'm in sort of a questionable job market in the gaming industry. I gotta start learning how to understand the importance of promotion.
No one cares about your game. There should have been a big explosion gun sound, but didn't quite go off, but you get the gist.
What matters in the industry is really the end result of your work, not the years of development beforehand. So yes, this video's entire existence is to pitch a new Jumping Flash to Sony. So, everyone who isn't Sony, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Before anyone asks, I should know I did try to use the proper channels to use the PlayStation's partnership thing, but it requires you to register a legal company, and honestly, I don't want to do that. I'm only interested in just working for someone else for stability. I don't want to create my own company right now. I mean, at least Steam lets you sign up as an individual developer, for better and for worse. Usually I'm not really the type of person to try and get attention for myself like this, but in the last few years, there have been many times of unpredictable success stories happen because of internet attention. Games and its developers become huge because they take risks to make splash in the industry instead of playing safe. I mean, isn't that the nature of independent games as a whole? You know, clout. I want to remind people that this is my first project outside of my course, and all 90% of its creation was created by myself, and you can tell. But that could change if I could get support to fulfill the demands of the next Jumping Flash games. I mean, I already have a rough but solid foundation to prove that Jumping Flash has the capability to succeed in the 21st century. All I need is a small talented team to fill in the gaps, and preferably, fixes to the numerous mistakes I made along the way. But honestly, I am proud of my work, warts and all. Without it, I wouldn't have the confidence to know if I could make a game. Now I know I could. Now I'm ready to take the next step in my career and finish what I started. The only problem is that I have no money, and I'm like at a knife edge when it comes to copyright law, so if any one of you guys want to fulfill this long-lasting dream of a cutesy FPS hopping action, then spread this video as far as you can. Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
Of course, most importantly, the whole project is now available all on itch.io for you to try out. Fair warning, it's a bit rough and limited, but it is a demo at the end of the day. Also, Steam. Okay, there's a Steam page available on it for months now, but Steam won't let me release the demo due to copyright anyway. Maybe one day, but not right now. And that's that. I would like to say thank you one last time for all who were willing to watch through to the end of the video. I would like to say thanks in support of @DevGallo, who is the creator behind Forza Pulpo, a 3D platformer inspired by the source material I'm working on. Even if your contribution only lasts a couple of likes and a comment, I'm genuinely grateful for even noticing me and supporting my work. In return, why don't we show some love and support your work too? Also, I can't wait for that cool upcoming game, Better Not Dead. So far it looks pretty cool. I also like to shout out Monster Man from the Sprites resource, who ripped all of the sprite assets from the first Jumping Flash and uploaded online. Thanks to you, I wouldn't be able to recreate the HUD with those sprites. And for the final note for anyone from PlayStation who's watching this video, hello! I hope you enjoy the video and my contacts are available for further discussion if you're interested. If anything else goes wrong, I'm deeply sorry, please, I don't know, don't sue me.